Hello everyone. So now, as we are having a test on Sunday, today we will be doing a revision on chapter number 10, that is light, reflection and refraction. Okay, fine. And I hope now as you have once clear the chapter, it will be easy for you to revise the chapter. I hope you know the reflection and what is refraction, what are the different types of spherical mirrors, what are the different types of lenses, and what is the lens formula, the mirror formula, the magnification, the power of lens, etc., as well as the image formation of convex lens and concave lens. Okay, so let us go through it today once again. So, what is the first thing is what is the reflection of light? As I told you that whenever the light is incident on a smooth, polished and opaque surface, it reflects back. Whenever the light is incident on smooth and polished surface, it reflects back, and that is known as reflection of light. That phenomena is known as reflection of light. Okay. So there are also the two laws of reflection that are quite important to us. Let us recall that the angle of incidence is always equals to the angle of reflection. The angle of incidence is always equals to the angle of reflection. Okay. And next law is the incident ray, the normal to the mirror at the point of incidence, and the reflected ray all lie in the same plane. All lie in the same plane. The incident ray, the normal to the mirror at the point of incidence, and reflected ray all lie in the same plane. Fine. These laws of reflection are applicable to all types of reflecting surfaces, including spherical surfaces. Okay, I hope you know that. See students, the ray which is coming on the opaque surface will be the incident ray. The imaginary line drawn perpendicular to the surface is known as normal to the mirror. And at the point where the incident ray, the refracted ray, the surface and the normal is meeting is also known as the point of incidence. It is also known as the point of incidence. Okay. So I hope you are clear with this. Fine. So there are two types of spherical mirrors. There are two types of spherical mirror. Which are they? The concave mirror and the convex mirror. There are two types of mirror. The concave mirror and convex mirror. The mirror whose curve is inside. Okay, the mirror having inside curve is known as concave mirror, and the mirror whose curve bulges outwards. The mirror whose curve bulges outwards is known as convex mirror. It is known as convex mirror. Fine students. The mirror having inner curved surface area is known as concave mirror, and the mirror whose curved bulges outwards is known as convex mirror. Okay, both are the reflecting surfaces. Both are reflective surfaces. Okay, fine. Now we also know how to draw the schematic diagram of the spherical mirrors. Okay, and that we will see over here. See, it is written over here. The center of the reflecting surface, see over here in the last paragraph, fourth line. The center of the reflecting surface of a spherical mirror is called pole. Fine students, you need to know that the center of the reflecting surface of a spherical mirror is called pole. The pole is usually represented by the letter P. The pole is usually represented by the letter P. The reflecting surface of a spherical mirror forms a part of the sphere, and this sphere has a center C. This point is also called the center of curvature. This point is also called the center of curvature. Okay. And the imaginary line passing through the pole of the mirror is also known as principal axis. It is known as principal axis. See students, it is written over here in the last fourth line, imagine a straight line passing through the pole and the center of curvature of a spherical mirror. Imagine a straight line passing through the pole and the center of curvature of a spherical mirror. This line is called principal axis. This line is called principal axis. Okay. Fine. The next thing also it is there given over here. The radius of the sphere of which the reflecting surface of the spherical mirror forms a part is also called the radius of curvature. The radius of the sphere of which the reflecting surface of a spherical mirror forms a part is called the radius of the curvature. It is represented by the letter R. It is represented by the letter R. Okay. See students, they have given over here that how a spherical mirror of a concave lens and a convex mirror works. So if the object was kept at infinity, each and every rays are reflecting on the focus. Each and every rays are reflected on the focus on the same side of the mirror, so that a point-sized object is formed. Okay, you need to know that there are two types of formations of the mirror image. That is, one is real and inverted, the other one is virtual and erect. One is real and inverted, the other one is virtual and erect. Okay, so you can see over here that on the concave mirror it bent towards the mirror, whereas in the convex mirror, if the object was kept at infinity, it bulges out. Okay, so they are reflected on the another side, but the imaginary line is drawn on the other side of the mirror, or we can also say behind the mirror. Fine students, you need to know that. See, one more important topic they have given over here is the last fourth line of the same paragraph. The point is called the principal focus of the mirror. The principal focus is represented by the letter F. The distance between the pole and the principal focus of the spherical mirror is called focal length. The distance between the pole and the principal focus of the spherical mirror is called the focal length. It is represented by the letter F. Okay, what is the next thing given over here? The reflecting surface of a spherical mirror is by large and spherical. The surface also has a circular outline. The diameter of the reflecting surface of a spherical mirror is called aperture. We shall consider. Okay. For a spherical mirrors of small apertures, the formula is R is equals to 2F. It is R is equals to 2F. That means that the radius of curvature is equals to 2 multiplied by the focal length. It is 2 multiplied by the focal length. You need to know that students, R is equals to 2F, or we can also say that F is equals to R upon 2. R is equals to 2F, or we can also say that F is equals to R upon 2. Fine. See, next topic is quite important to us. There are almost 8 topics for the image formation by the spherical mirrors. See, students, table is given over here. You need to know that. And the first topic is image formation by the concave mirror, that I have also drawn on the board when we were doing this chapter. Okay, the image formation by the concave mirror. So in the exam they will be giving you the object distance or the image distance, and rest all other things as well as the diagram. All you need to write. Okay, So the first thing is position of the object is given, that is at infinity. So students, you need to remember that if the object distance is given at infinity, the image distance will be at the focus. If the object distance is given at the infinity, the image distance will be at the focus. The size of the image will be point-sized and highly diminished, whereas the nature of the image will be real and inverted. For a concave mirror, if an object is kept at infinity, the position of the image is at the focus, and the size of the image will be highly diminished and point-sized. The nature of the image will be real and inverted. The nature of the image will be real and inverted. Next one thing is the position of the object, that is beyond C. Fine. So the object distance is kept beyond C. We came nearer to the mirror. Then the position of the image, that is the image distance, will be between F and C. It will be between focal length and the center of curvature. It will be between the focal length and the center of curvature. The next thing is size of the image. The next thing is size of the image. Then the image distance will be diminished. Then the image distance will be diminished. It will be also the same, the real and inverted. Real and inverted. Okay. And the next thing is the position of the object distance is kept at C. The object distance is kept at C. Then the image distance is kept at C. If the object distance is kept at C, the image distance will be kept at C. And the size of the image will be same size of the object. The size of the image will be same size of the object. The nature of the image will be real and inverted. The nature of the image will be real and inverted. Okay students, you need to know that. Please pay attention there. Next, the fourth case was that the object distance is kept between C and F. The object distance is kept between C and F. Then the image distance will be beyond C. The image distance will be beyond C. The size of the image will be highly enlarged. The size of the image will be highly enlarged, as well as the nature of the image will be real and inverted. It will be real and inverted. And the position of the object, that is the object distance, will be between P and F. It will be between P and F. And so the position of the image will be behind the mirror. It will be behind the mirror. Thus the size of the image will be enlarged. The size of the image will be enlarged and it will be virtual and erect. It will be virtual and erect. Okay students? So now I hope you have done with the representation of the images formed by the spherical mirror using ray diagram. You please note over here, a ray parallel to the principal axis after the reflection will always pass through the principal focus in the case of a concave mirror. Okay, you need to know that a ray parallel to the principal axis after the reflection will always pass through the principal focus in the case of a concave mirror, or appears to diverge from the principal focus in the case of convex mirror. Okay, it will pass through the principal focus in the case of a concave mirror, or they will appear to diverge from the principal focus in the case of a convex mirror. Second, a ray passing through the principal focus of a concave mirror, or a ray which is directed towards the principal focus of a concave mirror after the reflection will emerge parallel to the principal axis. Fine. A ray passing through the principal focus of a concave mirror, or a ray which is directed towards the principal focus of a convex mirror after a reflection will emerge parallel to the principal axis. So students, these are the rules and regulations for making a ray diagram, for drawing a ray diagram. A ray passing through the center of curvature of a concave mirror, or directed in the direction of the center of a curvature of a convex mirror after the reflection, is always reflected back. After the center of curvature is always reflected back along the same path. The light rays come back along the same path because the incident rays fall on the mirror along the normal to the reflecting surface. Okay. Fourth, a ray incident obliquely to the principal axis towards the point P on the concave mirror is reflected obliquely. The incident and the reflected rays follow the laws of reflection at the point of incidence, making the equal angle with the principal axis. See students, what six categories or what the six image formations we did or I spoke just now is given over here in the ray diagram. If the object was kept at infinity, if the object was kept beyond the center of curvature, if the object was kept at C, or if the object was kept between focus and the center of curvature, as well as if the object was kept at the focus and if the object was kept between pole and the focus. Okay, fine. The next thing is the uses of concave mirrors. The uses of concave mirrors, we are having many common uses in the concave mirrors. They are used in torch, searchlights and vehicle headlights to get powerful parallel beams of light. They are often used as a shaving mirrors to see a large image of the face. The dentist also use concave mirrors to see large images of the teeth of the patients. Large concave mirrors are also used to concentrate sunlight to produce heat in solar furnaces. Large concave mirrors are used to concentrate sunlight to produce heat in solar furnaces. Okay, that you need to remember. Fine students, the next topic is the image formation by the convex mirror. The image formation by convex mirror. Okay. So now as we have completed the concave mirror, we will be moving on to the convex mirror. There are only two possibilities for the convex mirror. Students, you should know that it converges behind the mirror and diverges on the same side of the mirror. The rays coming onto the convex mirror diverges on the same side of the mirror and converges behind the mirror. Okay, let us see that. So what is the position of the object? The position of the object is at infinity. The image is formed at the focus but behind the mirror. If the object is kept at infinity, the position of the image will be at the focus behind the mirror. And size of the image will be highly diminished, also known as point sized. Highly diminished, also known as point sized. Okay. And the nature of the image will be virtual and erect. The nature of the image will be virtual and erect. Next, the position of the object was kept between infinity and the pole P of the mirror. Then the image distance will be at between P and F behind the mirror, between pole and the focus but behind the mirror. And so the size of the image will be diminished. The size of the image will be diminished. Thus, the nature of the image will be virtual and erect. The nature of the image will be virtual and erect. Okay. See students, what I told you just now, they have given us the image formation by the diagrams also. It is given over here at infinity, pole and mirror and focus. It is also given over here for the between pole and the focus. Between pole and the infinity, how the image is formed. Okay. They have also given us the uses of convex mirror. The most common use of the convex mirror is only one, students, that is the rear view mirrors in the vehicles. It is the rear view mirrors in the vehicles. Okay, let us read that. Convex mirrors are commonly used as a rear view mirrors in vehicles. These mirrors are fitted on the sides of the vehicles, enable the driver to see the traffic behind him or her to facilitate the safe driving. Convex mirrors are preferred because they always give an erect through the diminished image. They have a wider field of view as they are curved outwards. Thus, convex mirrors enable the driver to view much larger area that would possible with a plane mirror. Okay, so these are the uses for convex mirror. See students, they have given us in second question, draw the radius of curvature of the spherical mirror is 20 centimeter. What will be the focal length? You can solve that very easily by putting a formula that r is equals to 2f. R is equals to 2f. Then you can also write that f is equals to r upon 2. F is equals to r upon 2. So if the radius of curvature is 20 centimeter, then f is equals to 20 upon 2, that is 10 centimeter. That is 10 centimeter. Okay. So while doing a sign conventions for the while solving a spherical mirrors, there are certain rules and regulations. That is also known as Cartesian sign conventions, as well as the sign conventions for reflection by a spherical mirrors. There are in general 4 to 5 rules for the sign conventions of the spherical mirrors. So students, the sign conventions are: the first one, if the object is always placed on the left hand side of the mirror. The object is always placed on the left hand side of the mirror. Okay. The next thing is, all distances parallel to the principal axis are measured from the pole of the mirror. Fine. So each and every distances are measured parallel to the principal axis, and from the pole of the mirror, The third one is, all the distance measured to the right of the origin. All the distances are measured to the right of the origin, then they are taken as positive. And all the distance measured from the left of the origin from the x-axis, they are taken as negative. Okay, you need to remember that students, please. All the distances measured to the right of the origin are taken as positive of x-axis, and all the distance measured to the left of the origin along the x-axis are taken as negative. Distance measured perpendicular and above the principal axis are taken as positive. Distance measured perpendicular and above the y-axis is said to be positive, and distance measured perpendicular and below the principal axis are taken as negative. Okay students, you need to remember this. This is quite important for us. All the objects are always kept on the left hand side of the mirror. Distances are parallel and distances should be parallel to the principal axis and measured from the pole. Right hand side of the x-axis positive, left hand side of the x-axis negative, above the y-axis positive, below the y-axis negative. So these are the general sign conventions and the rules and regulations for the spherical mirrors. So now we will go for a new topic, that is the mirror formula and magnification. Now students, as we have concluded as well as we have solved many examples of the mirror formula and the lens formula, you should know that the object distance is always denoted by u. The image distance is always denoted by v, as well as the image distance is always measured by v, but the focal length is measured by f. You need to know that. Okay. So the general formula for mirror is 1 upon v plus 1 upon u is equals to 1 upon f. 1 upon v plus 1 upon u will be always equals to 1 upon f. So whenever you are solving for the mirror formula, you need to write those formula that 1 upon v plus 1 upon u is always equals to 1 upon f. It is always equals to 1 upon f. Next thing is magnification. The magnification is always, as I told you, that the change in an image height with respect to the object height is known as magnification. The change in the image height with respect to the object height is known as magnification. Okay, I repeat once again, the change in the image height with respect to the object height is known as magnification, and so the magnification is the image height upon the object height, the image height upon the object height, as well as the image height is denoted as h prime and the object height is denoted as small h. So the formula becomes m is equals to h prime upon h. The formula becomes h prime upon h. You need to know that. Still there is one more formula for the image height. That is for the magnification, and that is negative of the image distance upon the object distance. The negative of the image distance upon the object distance is known as magnification. It is known as magnification. And so there are two formulas for the magnification, can be written as m is equals to h prime upon h is equals to minus v upon u. So the magnification will be h prime upon h is equals to minus v upon u. The height of the image above the x-axis will be virtual and erect, and below the x-axis will be real and inverted. You should know that the height of the image above the x-axis will be virtual and erect, and opposite, that is the real and inverted, that is below the x-axis, that is below the x-axis. Okay. See students, they have given over here the general examples that we have solved. If in the case of convex mirror, you will only take the object distance negative, whereas the radius of curvature, the focal length and the image distance, everything will be positive. You need to know that, students. Okay, in the case of convex mirror, the object distance is only negative, whereas the image distance, the focal length and the radius of curvature, everything is taken as negative. Oh, so sorry, my mistake. Convex mirror object distance is negative, and rather than that everything will be positive. That is image distance, focal length and the radius of curvature. In case if they have given us the radius of curvature, then you need to make it half by keeping the formula f is equals to r upon 2. Okay. And you need to remember that in the case of concave mirror, along with object distance, everything is kept negative. That is, the object distance is negative, the image distance is negative, the focal length is negative, as well as the radius of curvature, if it is given, will be negative. Fine students, I hope you are clear with this. The next topic what we will be learning is the refraction of light. Okay, then what we can say as a refraction of light, and what is actually the refraction of light? So in reflection we saw that whenever light is incident on a smooth, polished and opaque surface, it comes back, and that was known as reflection. But in the case of refraction, whenever the light passes through a transparent medium, it refracts back. It bends, whenever the light is passing through a transparent medium, it bends, and that is known as refraction of light. Okay, but that we will see in depth tomorrow. Thank you.